Us live now. Now, Sandy, before we get to where the court proceedings are ground to a halt because Omotoso's lawyer wanted to submit new evidence in the form of that video. Just take us through what happened initially before that particular point in today's proceedings.
Yes, today Cheryl Zondi faced a barrage of questions from Doberman today. It was the same kind of questions she was facing yesterday. They were more toned down than yesterday, but they were still quite harsh. He was asking her over and over again, you knew that what if you went back to that house that you could be raped. You knew if you went back up to his room, you knew what would happen. So he kept asking her over and over again why she went to his bedroom, why did she go to the house, and he kept questioning her over and over again, saying to her, you knew what was going to happen to you, why did you put yourself in that situation? And she kept saying, I was scared of him, he had a hold over me, I didn't really know what to do about it. But he kept asking her and asking her. And it was so interesting. At the tea break, just before the tea break, there was just a slight crack. You just saw that she's slightly cracked. She has been so defiant. She has been so strong right up until then. But I think this continuous question being asked at her over and over again, expecting her to give a different answer each time, she just hit a point just before the tea break where she just looked like she had had enough.
And then came the moment where Sandy, the Doberman then asked the court for the court to agree to new evidence that he was going to submit. And then the court adjourned, and then there was all this, there were all these videos that now had to play in court. Take us through what came out of that particular part of today's proceedings.
Now, before the break, Cheryl was talking about how she went back to the church at 19 years old. She said she needed closure and she needed Omotoso to face her and apologize. She had been told by her friends that he had changed, and she was convinced that he had changed, and she decided to go to PE and see him at a crusade here in PE. She got to the B&B where he was staying. She got into the car with him, where she confronted him, saying to him, why did this have to happen? Why did this have to happen? I didn't like what was happening. I didn't want this to happen. But instead of apologizing, he said to her, if you want to come back to the church, things must go back to the way they were. So now she's on the way to the crusade. She's now back. She's back in the same situation she was at 14 years old, and she said she was terrified of this man. He still had a hold on her, and she was on her way to this huge church service. She said she spent the entire church service in fear. Now, what Doberman was trying to do was he played a video clip of this church service where you can see Cheryl standing up in front of the entire congregation, where she says she is happy to be home, that she had a void in her life since she left the church, and that everybody had been so kind to her, and that she thanked God for the ministry, and she thanked God for the man of God. So Doberman then started questioning her, saying, but you don't look like you're in fear. You actually look like you're having a fantastic time at this crusade. And she said, no, I'm very good at hiding my fear. And he said to her, well, you must be a fantastic actress.
Wow. And there was someone was reprimanded today for making gestures and so on. Who was that person, and what's the person's relation to Pastor Omotoso?
So Timothy Omotoso's wife was sitting just behind me in the gallery. I wasn't able to watch her. I didn't actually see this happen, but the judge had a perfect view of her and the entire gallery. Now, apparently, according to the judge, she was gesturing, she was making comments while Cheryl Zondi was on the stand. So the judge asked her to please stop gesturing and to please stop commenting. He even asked her to stand up, saying, the lady between those two men in that bright orange outfit, bright orange dress, would you please stand up? Please, could you be quiet? So, yes, so it was Timothy Omotoso's wife that was reprimanded today by the judge.
Quickly, Sandy, what's going to happen next?
So, Cheryl Zondi will be on the stand tomorrow. Now, I was speaking to the prosecutor just earlier, and he was saying that he tried to convince the judge to give her off tomorrow. He said that she's been on the stand for 2 solid days now. She's exhausted, she's very tired, and she's got exams coming up and she needs to study. But the judge was having none of that. He said she must be on the stand tomorrow. She's going to face another day of grueling cross-examination by Doberman. But after that, she will leave. She will be going back to Springs in Gauteng, where she will study, and she will be writing an exam on Monday. Once her exams are complete, the judge says they will then call her back to the stand to finish off her cross-examination. In the meantime, another witness will be called to the stand on Monday. For you?
Thanks, Sandy. That's where we're going to leave it for now. Sandy McCowen was, of course, tracking that particular story for us, Timothy Omotoso's rape trial.